The digestive system. Functions of the digestive system. When you are hungry, your whole body needs food. But the only system in the body that food actually enters is the digestive system. How does food get to the rest of the body after you digest it? The digestive system's job is to convert the food into useful molecules. Digestion happens in 4 phases: ingestion, digestion, absorption, and elimination. Ingestion. The first phase in digestion is getting food into the system. Your mouth is the opening of the digestive tract. The process of putting food into your mouth is called ingestion. Digestion. As food passes through the digestive tract, it is broken down in 2 ways: by mechanical digestion and chemical digestion. Mechanical digestion is the physical breakdown of large pieces of food into smaller pieces. These smaller pieces can be swallowed and accessed by digestive enzymes. Chemical digestion is the chemical breakdown of food into smaller pieces. During chemical digestion, enzymes break down food into small molecules that the body can use. Absorption. Once food has been broken into small molecules, it can be absorbed by the small intestine. During absorption, molecules enter the circulatory system from the digestive tract. The circulatory system carries food molecules throughout the body. See ya. Oh. Elimination. The digestive system cannot digest and absorb all the food that enters your body. Substances that cannot be absorbed travel through the large intestine and are eliminated from the body as feces. Cellulose is one example of a material your body cannot digest. Key question: what are the functions of the digestive system? The digestive system breaks down food into molecules the body can use in its cells. Food is processed in 4 phases: ingestion, digestion, absorption, and elimination. The process of digestion. The human digestive system is built around an alimentary canal. An alimentary canal is a one-way tube that passes all the way through the body. The entrance to this tube is the mouth. Digestion starts in the mouth. Once food enters your mouth, your teeth begin mechanical digestion. The incisors, cuspids, and bicuspids cut and tear the food. Then the molars grind the food into a paste that you can swallow. Your tongue moves the food around so that all of it can be chewed. While you are chewing, glands in your mouth release saliva. Saliva moistens the food and makes it easier to chew. Saliva contains an enzyme called amylase. That begins chemical digestion by breaking chemical bonds and starches to release sugars. Another enzyme called lysosome fights infection. Lysozyme digests the cell walls of many bacteria that may enter the mouth with food. Once food is chewed, it moves into the pharynx, which is the back of the throat. As you swallow, a flap of tissue called the epiglottis closes over the opening to the trachea to keep food out. The trachea is the tube that leads from the pharynx to the lungs. The esophagus. The food paste forms into a clump as it is swallowed. This clump, called a bolus, enters the esophagus from the pharynx. The esophagus is a muscular tube that connects the pharynx to the stomach. Muscle contractions push the bolus down the esophagus into the stomach. This process, called peristalsis, is shown below. A ring of muscle called the cardiac sphincter closes the esophagus after the bolus enters the stomach. This prevents food from moving back into the esophagus. Digestion in the stomach. Chemical and mechanical digestion continues in the stomach. Tiny glands in the stomach lining release hydrochloric acid, pepsin, and mucus. Pepsin is an enzyme that breaks down proteins into smaller pieces and works best in acidic conditions. Mucus is a fluid that protects the stomach lining from the acid and lubricates the food. Smooth muscle layers in the stomach contract to mix the food with the hydrochloric acid and pepsin. The mixture that leaves the stomach is called chyme. Digestion in the small intestine. Chyme enters the upper part of the small intestine through the pyloric valve. This area of the small intestine is called the duodenum, and it is where most of the digestion and absorption of food occurs. The chyme mixes with enzymes and digestive fluids from the pancreas, liver, and the lining of the duodenum. Pancreas. The pancreas is a small gland located behind the stomach. The pancreas produces enzymes, sodium bicarbonate, and hormones. The enzymes break down carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, and nucleic acids in the small intestine. Sodium bicarbonate neutralizes the acid in the chyme, protecting the small intestine's lining. It also gives the enzymes the right conditions to work. The hormones, as part of the endocrine system, regulate blood sugar levels. The liver and gallbladder. The liver helps the pancreatic enzymes with fat digestion. The liver produces bile, a fluid loaded with lipids and salts. Bile is stored in the gallbladder until fat enters the duodenum. Fats glob together, making it harder for enzymes to digest them. Bile breaks the fat globs into smaller droplets. This makes it easier for enzymes to digest the fat. Key question: what occurs during digestion? During digestion, food travels through the mouth, esophagus, stomach, and small intestine. Mechanical digestion and chemical digestion break food down into molecules that can be absorbed. Absorption and elimination. Once digestion is finished in the small intestine, nutrients need to be absorbed from the alimentary canal. Absorption occurs in the intestines. Absorption from the small intestine. Muscles in the walls of the small intestine contract in waves. These contractions move the chyme down the intestine. By this time, most of the chemical digestion is complete. The chyme is now made of small and medium molecules that can be absorbed. The structure of the small intestine is specialized for absorption of nutrients. The folded surface of the small intestine is covered in small structures called villi, singular villus. The villi are covered in tiny microvilli that absorb nutrients from the chyme. Most of the carbohydrates and proteins are absorbed into the capillaries in the villi. Most fats and fatty acids are absorbed by lymph vessels. Chyme has almost no nutrients by the time it is ready to leave the small intestine. Complex food molecules have been digested and absorbed. The chyme now contains water, cellulose, and undigestible substances. Absorption from the large intestine. Most nutrients have already been absorbed from the chyme before it enters the large intestine. The large intestine's job is to remove water from the chyme. The water is absorbed quickly, leaving the undigested material behind. Rich colonies of bacteria in the large intestine feed on this material. They produce compounds the body can use, such as vitamin K. Taking large doses of antibiotics for an infection can destroy these bacteria. When this happens, the body may not get enough vitamin K. Elimination. The waste material left after all of the water is absorbed is called feces. The feces move into the rectum and are eliminated from the body through the anus. If something happens to stop the large intestine from absorbing enough water, a condition called diarrhea occurs. If too much water is absorbed, a condition called constipation occurs. Key question: how are nutrients absorbed and waste eliminated? Most nutrients are absorbed through the walls of the small intestine. The large intestine absorbs water and some vitamins and prepares waste for elimination.